Jason D'Amico on the Jason D'Amico Show. Welcome back, folks. We're here again in the same room because we're doing like 15 of these in one day at the Hilton and the Millennium Music Conference 24th annual conference. And I've got my very good friend, new friend, Miss Kendra Black, pop,
Hey.
EDM, DJ, NYC, my Sicilian connection, which is pretty crazy. That's
right?
a crazy story.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So let's just talk about how you got into music, what you're doing, and a little brief synopsis on what's going on.
Well, music has always been part of me since I was little, basically, even before I started literally doing anything else, going to school, reading. I was already singing. I was like 5 and I was already, singing and doing music. And I always had like a natural voice, but then as I went on, I perfected it and I, kept working on it. And then eventually I got into professional ballet as well as music. So for a while I was doing both together, and then I switched to music entirely, and now I sing and I DJ.
Cool. Now, I saw a couple of the shows. We were playing at the exact same times at different venues last night, so unfortunately could not make it out to your performance. But when I was doing some homework last night for a couple of minutes, a lot of choreography. Are you the one really calling the shots with that? Are you collaborating with a choreographer? Because it's sharp. It's, from what I've seen, it looks pretty good.
Thanks. Well, that is interesting because I have a full team working with me, but I'm the one pulling all the strings. It's actually exhausting at times, but it's cool. I love it, So basically, for that, for example, I had a choreographer, and I was making the choreography with her, and then she found the dancers. I approved the dancers. We did rehearsals. So that's, that's how that went.
Yeah.
And for everything, really. I have a PR, I have music consultants, but I kind of like pick and choose the people I want to work with. And I have to say, like, I found really great people in New York. Like, obviously, I've been burnt like everyone at first, but then I managed to gather some pretty awesome people.
Main influences for you, if you were to say 2 to 3, as far as like in your genre, what would you say?
Well, right now, since I'm veering more into EDM and all that, I would say Vanik, definitely. Yeah, I love Vanik. And like all the features are just fire. The content, just the melodies, everything. There's something about it. Or Bass Nectar is something I also like. Or artists like K-Flay, if we're talking like just vocalists. K-Flay, Melanie Martinez, yeah.
What's your songwriting process as far as where you're at right now? Everybody's got I always ask this question because it's really interesting to see from an artistic standpoint. What gets the engine revving for you?
Well, it really depends. Like sometimes I'll start from an idea, other times I'll work on like a beat with someone and then I'll create like on top of that, or sometimes I'll co-write with people. I like doing that. But most importantly, it's just, sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything all at once. So I'm like, all right, let's slow down. Let's start from the melody. So I just play the beat and I just kind of like record myself with different melody lines. And then I just pick and choose. I just vibe with it. And then once I like it, I have my phone next to me or like my computer, whatever I'm recording with.
Right.
And I kind of create on top of that. That way it really flows.
Best gig experience for you? In the last, I don't know, couple of years.
That's a tough one. I would say probably South Padre Island, Texas last year.
Oh, cool.
Which I'm doing again this year.
Awesome.
But this year I'm going to DJ and sing as opposed to just singing. So it's going to be a little different.
We'll talk about, I was going to say worst gig experience too. You don't have to say any names, but if you have like a really quick, like just total, because everybody's got those like disaster stories, like.
Yeah. So it was actually like for my first tour when I released my single Dangerless.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna give out the city because that's too easy.
That's fine. Yeah.
But like basically it was a festival and we got there and then I literally like traveled with my sound guy, my makeup and hair artist, my 2 dancers, the rapper that's like on one song that came just for that, for that one song in the set. We got there and then we played like 4 hours and a half later because they didn't know where to put us. They didn't know, like they obviously like, had a lineup full of artists, but they were confused.
Right.
And then at one point it started raining, and we were like, they put us like in the outdoor area. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's start. And it's so pretty. And then it starts raining, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm saving all the instruments. And then they're like, oh no, keep going. I'm like, it's gonna storm, I can tell. You know, I don't know,
Yeah.
like you can just tell.
Right.
So
Right.
I just like literally grabbed my mic and stuff. We went downstairs. So then they set up for us downstairs, and it went great. But like that whole first part was just.
It's just so chaotic and hectic, you know, dealing with all that.
And we could have like ruined instruments if we listened to them. They were just like, nah, keep going. And I'm looking at them like,
Yeah, nah.
I'm sorry.
What, as we kind of wrap up, what would you say? And I ask pretty much when we do hour-long segments, I always ask this at the end, but if you could go back in time right now, knowing what you know as an artist, and go back to your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Wow, my 15-year-old self was a hot mess. Literally, I would sit down with her, have a conversation, and be like, "Bitch." I don't know if you're gonna censor that, but anyway.
No, this is explicit. Totally, free range.
I would be like, "Get your shit straight and just, you know." Practice, be on time, and like know what you're doing. Don't be afraid to network with people, because I was, you know, like
Rob
now,
Schwartz was here earlier. He said the exact same thing, network, and that was like the first thing that popped off.
Because before it was kind of like, oh hi, yeah, I'm Kendra, and now it's just like, you know, you need business cards, you need to talk to people, you need to meet people, and even at this conference, like there's so many people that I already like knew from other conferences, and it was awesome because you start building your own like network of people that you know and that ultimately may know each other, and then before you know it, you're like in it, you know, and you're in that atmosphere, I guess. You're in the circle, so that's awesome.
Quick little popcorn question and answer for you. I'll say a word, you just say the first word that comes to mind, and it's all industry related. Vocal.
Singer.
Pop.
Music. You said the first like
low end.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Collapse.
Chaos.
Let's see. Stage.
Presence.
Nice. Lights.
Magic.
Dance.
Choreography.
Yeah. Favorite food.
Avocado.
Really?
Yes.
I
Absolute
can see
favorite.
that. Now, quick.
Or Starbucks.
Can you tell can you tell the Sicilian story real quick about the last name? Because we have the same last name, right?
Exactly. It's crazy.
You're D'Amico.
Yeah.
And we got to see if we actually have like some sort of down the road,
we
like
could,
down the line.
like maybe like, you know, ancient history or not, you know. Like,
it's sad because it sounds like the same part of Sicily that my dad's side's from. Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, like, yeah, no, my you know, Italian name is D'Amico. And obviously Kendra Black is like, you know, what I created for myself when I started like getting into music, like for
Stage
real.
name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just related to it. And like, you know, my family is into like boats and just like sailing. So that's, you know, if you have any ties to that, then probably. Because like that's what my family does. They're like into, you know, sea and sailing and all that.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
We're going to put all of your information in the description box on YouTube. And this will be on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart.
Cool.
Whole 9
That's
yards.
amazing.
Do you have any last words?
Thanks. This is great.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Jason D'Amico Show, Miss Kendra Black. Check her out. You have any new shows coming up?
Yeah. I'm going to be in South Padre Island on the 12th and the 13th for a night show and a day show where I'm going to be DJing with DJ Flobulous. It's another DJ I'm collaborating with.
Cool.
And singing as well. Then I have South by Southwest on the 20th, Ultrafest on the 21st, and then what else? Yes, I have 2 shows in somewhere in Michigan. I don't remember where.
Cool.
But yeah, I gotta check.
Good excuse for everybody to go check you out on the website.
Absolutely, KendraBlackMusic.com, and that's also my social media handle, Kendra Black Music, and yeah.
Awesome.